Hi, welcome to this video today. We are on Tuesday, we're on the 28th of April. Just going to be taking a look at the Japanese yen today. We're going to be looking at a few pairs. We're going to look at the JPY against the USD, also against the Euro, the AUD, the CAD and the GBP. We'll go to the charts in a moment. Now, from our fundamental analysis, we are just heavily bullish of the yen. Now, all the pairs we're going to look at, there's high odds entries through levels to get long the yen if you have a bullish stance on the yen like us. Now, in terms of the yen, it is the number one safe haven currency, and there's a lot of people at the moment talking about risk on in the markets, and the stock market has rallied 30% off its lows. A lot of people talking about the stock market going back to multi-year highs. The worst is over in the global economy. It will return to growth next year. The problems of the pandemic will soon be behind us. We don't share that optimism at all. We think things going forward are dire. Even if we found a vaccine tomorrow, which of course won't happen, the actual damage that has been done to the global economy and global financial system will not be repaired for years. And yeah, when people talk about risk on, they talk about the stock market. Yeah, sure, the stock market has rallied up 30% from its lows. But if you look at it, every recession in history, you go back to 1900, the stock market has always done that, doing rallies of 20 to 40% before crashing to new lows. I think the same will happen again. Now, in terms of the pairs, let's go and take a look at them right now. But just before we do so, as per usual, please do keep in mind, it is my view, as of this specific moment in time, it can obviously change in line with the market action and conditions. If you want all our trading techniques, our daily technical sentiment analysis of 14 Forex pairs, all you need to do is click on the link beneath this video. You can get live access to our member centre. You can also click a link to follow us on Facebook and also join our Facebook group. Now, in terms of the trade setups, the one we're going to do first of all is going to be USD JPY. Daily chart, and in terms of this pair, covered it in a couple of previous videos. Just going to go through how we've been playing the setup, just for anyone new watching. This big rally up, and we didn't think we could get through 112. We waited for it to come through 110. We come down, base out, and find support into 107. Shallow rally, just above the 20-day moving average. Then we drop down and effectively traveling sideways below the 20-day moving average, the green line. You can see the volatility dropping as the two Bollinger Bands, outer bands, come together. Yeah, low volatility breaks. From tight channels. We like trading the setup, okay? And we have now come through the level. And I personally think that, we can get through this low. We're just a little bit too close to the round number at the minute, 106.87. Get through that low, down to 102, then down to 100, longer term, possibly even 80. If we rally back, we don't see much upside for the 20-day in the top of the channel holding. Now, at the moment, this pair, it's been kind of slow moving, but we're up 300 pips. I'm just hoping that's going to become a lot more. This low gives way, long way to the downside. Rallies, like I said, selling opportunities. In terms of the two currencies, the JPY was a disadvantage to the dollar for years, wasn't it? Due to the good yield advantage on the USD against JPY. That's all but disappeared now. Okay. If we move to risk off, both are safe haven currencies, but the JPY obviously the number one. And I think it looks a really good trade setup. The Fed are doing a huge amount of stimulus. Okay, Japan is as well. But Japanese yen oversold historically, and the potential for risk off to return in a big way. I think this is a really good risk to reward trade. Anyone new coming into it, I'd take the low or just get to 108, just look for topping action. long way potentially to go to the downside. Moving on to the next pair, which is Euro JPY. It's been one of our favourite pairs for a good while. Hopefully my screen's going to come up. Here it is. Featured in a few videos. This 121 level, we topped out there, came back, topped out again. We wanted to come in and we got our trade in at 119.80. This one's a little bit more profit. So near enough 400 pips. Come down, shallow rally. Let's try to get through this 20-day moving average. These tails here can't do it. Been read away from the 20. We haven't even been back to the 20 cents. Okay, very simple setup for us. This one, if you wanted to come into it, 117 double trend line resistance, 20-day moving average there. Just look to sell weakness off the level, or we just break to new daily chart lows. 115.65 should do it, and then I think a long way to go to the downside. 110, then 100. I'll just show you the monthly chart of this one. Actually, it's been going down for a good while. We're now breaking recent lows, so just through those two candles there. Taken out the daily lows yet, but we're close. 110, it's easily on the cards. 100, maybe an even bigger decline longer term. In terms of Eurozone, there's just nothing good going on in the zone. We've got the ECB coming up. I don't really think they're going to be too optimistic, obviously, and I don't think they can be giving the euro any strength. Let's say a lot of people are saying, well, they might not add to stimulus or whatever. I really don't care. I don't think it's to do with the ECB now. I think, what is really going to weigh on the euro is the big dispute they've got between all the member states. I mentioned it in a previous video. The poorer nations want pooled debt with the richer nations guarantee. The poorer nations and the rich nations, Germany, Netherlands, Finland, etc., are not keen on doing this at all. And the poor nations like Italy and Spain, they probably need $1 trillion just to get through this year. Okay, now Germany, very reluctant. It's the main country in the zone, and I just don't see them agreeing. Okay, they did have a meeting recently. They abandoned it, and they told the EU Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen to go and sort it out. She's, for me, not really a person for the job, and she's just got an impossible task to try and get the richer nations to agree to back the poorer nations up. And in terms of this, if we just think back when the UK left the EU, that leaves a shortfall of just $62 billion. Germany very reluctant to pick up any of that. Now we need $1 trillion in Eurozone to stop the potential for Italy or Spain to go down. It's just looking really bad in Eurozone. I don't see the nations resolving their differences. I personally think, said in previous videos, the zone will eventually break up. The total flaw of having a political union without a monetary union is now being fully exposed. Euro, long way to go on the downside. Right, let's skip over now. Take a look at AUD JPY. Right, we are on the daily chart of AUD JPY. Now, I did feature this pair in depth in my last video. It was the last video I did. So you go and take a look at my in-depth view on the Aussie. But in terms of the Aussie, it's actually been stronger than I thought it would be. Showed decent strength since I did the last video. But that strength, in my view, it's going to end. And we're going to see a big plunge in the Aussie dollar. Now, just going through the technicals first of all. This big fall here, get a gap. Okay, you can see it just there. Try and fill the gap there. Calm. Down, exhaustion, back up. Now we filled the gap. Okay, you very often get gaps filled. I'm sure anyone who studies technical analysis is familiar with that. But the gap is filled, is there any more strength left in the Aussie? Well, there could be. It's been firmer than I expected. Yeah, we're a little bit underwater on this one at the minute, 100 pips down. And yeah, we could break higher. We could go above the gap and go for the 70 round number. If we did that and got through it, I'd just sell straight back through 70. Okay, our stop is at 70.40. If I was taken out straight back through the round number, stop behind these candles over here. What if she doesn't break higher through the low? We'll do it. So basically 68.70. Okay, just through the round number, through the low, see if she runs. That's a 16% rise on what? Well, a lot of people are saying, well, the S&P has been strong, so that will give the Aussie a bit of strength. That's true. Okay, I think the S&P is going to top out. A lot of people also said that China going back to work, opening up its industry, great news for Australia, because yeah, obviously Australia major trading partner with China, but there's going to be no big demand for Australian commodities from China, because yeah, sure, they're back at work, but who are they going to export to? Their export markets have dried up, so I don't really see, you know, that as an argument that can carry the Aussie dollar much higher going forward. You can see commodity prices already topping out that Australia exports. Other people have put up the idea that you know, obviously Australia's dealt very well with the pandemic. Okay, a lot better than a lot of countries. Okay, and yeah, people say, well, yeah, get back to normal after the pandemic. The Australian economy is pretty insulated against what's going on in the world generally. That argument for me does not add up at all. Australia is very exposed to the global economy. But I think when you read these things in the media, a lot of people just fit the story to the price. I think the Aussie's got massive downside. 16% to chart lows, and if we get to 50, I don't know what that is as a percentage, but it's pretty big. Aussie very, very vulnerable in our view to a downside break. Now moving on to the next chart, it's CAD JPY. Now in terms of the CAD, a good few months ago we were saying we felt it was most overbought major of all. It had a massive plunge, big gap here, you can see it. Back to fill the gap, down, back to try and get above the gap, down. Then we kind of can't get through the 78 level, drop down. Bit of a tight sideways channel. You can see these Bollinger Bands tightening up, which shows the volatility dropping. And yeah, last three candles, very small. Okay, now we could move a little bit up to the upside, but I think this level will hold. Okay, key level to watch is below the 76 level. 75.80 will do it. Breaks there, down to chart lows, then on to 60. Okay, Canada, you know, crude oil had a massive fall, but so too is Western Canadian Select, which is the crude that Canada exports mainly. That's been absolutely hit harder than WTI crude. Big problems in Canada. Yeah, let's wait for the downside break. If it comes, CAD's still very overvalued. Long way to go down on the Japanese yen. Let's go to our final chart, which is going to be GBP JPY. This one here. Okay. Again, it's just doing a low, a breakout from low volatility effectively. And again, you can see we drop into this little channel here. Tiny, tiny candles. Just want to break at the bottom of the channel, don't you? Get through that. Then it's down to 124, possible run on to 120. Yeah, from a technical perspective, I do like doing breakouts and really tight congestion. So yeah, she breaks to the downside to see if she runs. The yen, for me, is going to be going up everywhere pretty shortly, and it's going to be going up in a big way. I picked out 5 pairs. I think they're all decent looking trades in my view. yeah, I'm just very bullish of the yen. We shall see. But that is the video for today. Thank you very much for watching me. As per usual, take care. Have a good day.